Welcome to Well Crafted Studio. I'm here to help you live inspired and create with purpose. So let's get started. Hey, welcome back. So today we're going to be taking a piece of leather and turning it into a leather cuff. I have a design and a cut file ready for you in the Well Crafted library. So you just go to wellcraftedstudio.com, go to the library. It's going to prompt you to put in the password. I'm already in. And we're going to go down to other templates. So we're going to do the wildflower gardening debossing design and the leather cuff shape. So go ahead and save those images, and we're going to go right into Cricut Design Space. So in Cricut Design Space, where you have a new file and our new canvas, and we're going to upload. And I'm going to grab that leather cuff shape, and it's going to go ahead and right away open it up, put save. It says vector image uploaded. I've already got it here, and then we're going to go to insert image, and there it is. We're going to go upload again. I'm going to go back and grab that. I just have them in recents. Wildflower design, and this is going to process as an image. It's a PNG file. It's a high contrast, so we're going to go simple, and it's going to give us the option of erasing the background. However, this one is already got a transparent background, and if you look, you can tell that because it's got all the little squares and checks. So we're going to do continue. We're going to save it as a cut image, and there it is. Click on it, insert image, and we've got it. So we're going to actually layer this on top of the cuff. The cuff currently is dark. Just so we can see better, I'm going to go ahead and throw color onto it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead to line type, cut, and we're going to change that to deboss. So we now have a debossed image here. So now let's go up to the leather cuff, and we're going to size that. I'm going to change the width to 8.25. That's the size I like for my cuffs. Depending on the size of my wrist or your wrist, you're going to want to actually change that to something else. So you can measure your wrist, or you can measure a different cuff you have. If you were to be making this for a gift, there are some standard sizes. For instance, an adult male is usually about 9 inches. If I wanted to change the height of this and make it smaller or thinner, I could do that as well by unlocking and then changing my height. I like my cuffs about 1.5 inches, so that's what we've got. Now we're going to layer this over, and I'm going to just pull that arrow and drag it in. And there we go. It actually leaves a little bit of room on the ends. I might want that a little bit more, or the design longer. So I'm going to go to unlock, and now it won't keep the scale or ratio. It will let me lengthen it. So now I'm going to click the lock and select both. And then I'm going up here to position. And I'm going to type in 0 in the X box. That moves it all the way over to the left side of the page. Okay, so now we're going to go to shapes and circle. And with that circle selected, we're going to go up here to the size. And we're going to change the size to 0.157, which is roughly 4 centimeters. Okay, with that still selected, I'm going to right click and do duplicate. So now I'm going to go ahead and place this generally where I want, but I'm going to change the position in the X again to 0.4. I'm going to go ahead and select this one after I get up roughly where I want. And I'm going to change this one to 7.55. So that's giving me a little bit of room around each so that I can use the snaps. So the snaps are a little bit wider than the hole, so we just want to keep that in mind when we're playing with the design. Okay, and actually my design's up a little high, so I'm going to just move it a little bit. Unlock that again. We want the whole design to be on the cuff. Alright, so that looks good. And then I'm going to select everything. And so you can see over here, everything's been grayed out. So I know it's all selected. Or I could have gone to select all up here. And then I'm going to align, center vertically. So now we have the two holes. We have them where we need them to be. We have the debossed image and the leather cuff. So I'm going to select everything again and then come down to attach. So the next thing we're going to do is come up to save. And then I'll say save project. I'm going to name it floral cuff and save it. It was saved successfully. Now we're going to go to make it. Now with leather, it seems like it works better if you position it towards the center of your mat when you cut. So we're going to go ahead and put it right there in the center. So I'm looking and it's about the 2 and it's about the 11 and then 3 and 5. So I have a piece of leather that's cut approximately about 9.5 by 2.5. Okay, so we're ready to move over to the leather and the mat. So this is a piece of tooling leather I cut with my rotary cutter and my cutting mat. It is about probably 9 inches by 2 something. So we're going to go ahead and place that on our mat. And I'm going to actually get it a little damp with this damp paper towel before we do that. The reason I'm doing that is because the debossing tip will press into the leather just a little bit more. So before we go ahead and deboss, we want to make sure that the leather is dry looking and it'll still be a little bit wet beneath, so it will still get that deeper impression. But you don't want it too deep because otherwise the debossing tool will get stuck. The debossing tool is this tool. It has a little bit of a ball at the end of it, which both presses into the leather and glides over it. It's marked with a 21 and it is in the quick swap hosing. So in order to change that, I'll just show you quick. You depress the top and switch it or pull it off. And then again, depress it and then slip it back on. It has a 21 on it. And it is the fine debossing tip, which tells me, or tool, which tells me that there might be a deeper one coming, which would be great for leather. Okay, so I'm using blue painter's tape. I'm taping down just the edges of my leather. I do want to press the leather as well. Just try to get that smooth adhesion onto the strong grip mat. Cricut tells us to tape all the way around. Okay, so I'm looking at my leather and I'm looking at my matte representation here, and it looks like I do need to move, just double checking the placement. It does look like I need to move this down just a little bit. So I'm going to click on it and select it and then just drag it down just a bit. So ideally I want it to be at about 3.5 inches and about 2 inches. So that's good. And just double checking my ends. So I've got the leather up to the 11, so that's good too. Okay, so now we're going to click continue. Okay, so the next step here is Cricut is connected to my maker. It says set material. I'm going to go to the tooling leather. I have it selected as a favorite, and so that means that little star. However, you would go over to browse all materials and then go to leather in the search. And that'll bring up 6 results. We're going to be using the tooling leather. It's just the 6 to 7 ounces. Click done. Now Cricut is prompting us to go ahead and move the star wheels all the way to the right. It's these little white wheels. And to load our mat. Okay, so I'm just double checking my tape's sticking up a little bit here, so make sure that's down. Press it down again. Okay, so it says load the fine debossing. So I have the knife blade in right now. I'm gonna go ahead and put that debossing tool in, clamp B, clamp that in, and it says I'm good to go. We will be using the knife blade halfway through after the debossing process, so I'll show you guys how to add that back. Press go. Okay, so the Cricut stopped and it's prompting me to go ahead and load the knife blade. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pull out the debossing blade, and I have the knife blade. I'm going to insert that and clamp B, clamp it in, and press the blinking go button again. Okay, so I have to say that half the time that I'm doing this, it does say that the blade is stuck. So to do this, it says it's either the debris from the leather or it just got stuck. So you can cancel the mat or you can resume the cut. We're going to go ahead and cancel the mat because so far every time it's done this, it's been at the end of the cutting and it actually has been cut through. So we're just going to go ahead and unload. And you can see that there is quite a bit of debris here. And it has cut all the way through. So there we go. So I'm going to cancel. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys quickly. I had the leather was just a little bit more wet with one of these than the other. And the way that you can tell is this one, where it was a little bit more damp, it has a little bit of a darker leather line around the debossing. That doesn't bother me at all because I'll be painting these, but I just kind of wanted to let you know that that's what that looks like. So we're going to go ahead and put the snaps in. Okay, so we're ready to do the snaps. So we have our cut leather piece, we have a mallet, we have our snaps, and a snap setter. We also have a hard surface to pound on because I'm working on my kitchen table. If you were to be working on, like, say, a granite surface, you wouldn't need this. So the line 24 snaps are kind of a heavy duty snap, and they come in different finishes, and I got mine at Tandy Leather. The snap setting tool I have is made actually for the line 24 snaps, and that's kind of important. So snap setting tools usually have these two pieces and then this piece. Because I have this jig, I'm going to be using that. So snaps, a set of snaps is 4 pieces. There's the cap, the socket, the post, and then the stud. So we're going to go ahead and use the cap. We're going to put it down in this concave part. And then we're going to put our leather upside down. And then we're going to take this little socket and put it right over there. Now the most important thing with setting snaps is that you want to have it, all the pieces kind of tight together, and you want to have a straight up and down stroke. And so we're going to put all the pieces in there together. We're going to make sure that everything's kind of tight. And lined up. And then we're going to hit straight up and down. Okay, so we're ready to do the opposite side. So instead of having the leather upside down, we're having it right side up. We're using this piece. We're going to insert that in there, put our post, put our leather, and then the top piece. We want to make sure everything's lined up, everything's where it's supposed to be. And then we're going to go ahead and insert it. Again, straight up and down. Okay, so it's doing what it's supposed to doing. It's still a little loose there. Make sure everything's pressed together, and then just keep going. Okay, so there we have our snap. It goes to leather like so. And we're done. 2 debossed and cut leather cuffs. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and please stop back and check out the next video. We're going to be painting the cuffs, finishing the edges, and sealing them. Thanks for watching this tutorial. And if you found it helpful, please like, comment, or subscribe below. And for more tutorials like this, visit wellcraftedstudio.com.